Hello everyone, I'm Lila Gaertner, and this is my ECSI 302 Digital Story Meta Reflection. As I look back at the beginning of the semester, I have realized that I am a different person than who I first started out to be at the beginning of this course. At the beginning of this course, I can remember being a bit overwhelmed with how many assignments there were, how difficult the assignments seemed to be, and the fact that I had to make creative journals throughout the semester. I saw a mountain that I thought I couldn't climb. But looking at where I am now, I can see that I climbed that mountain and even enjoyed the journey along the way. I found that I was embarking on an ecological journey that helped me learn many different things about my eco-literacy, eco-identity, current ecological issues, teaching strategies to implement environmental education into my lesson plans, and my own Eurocentric ways of knowing. So when I did my first creative journal, I found it hard to grasp the idea that I only had to hand in a creative visual journal that did not have a lot of words included in the assignment. So for my first creative journal, I created a piece of writing and then drew pictures over top of my words. I realize now that this assignment was disrupting what I commonly knew as journaling, and that just because journaling has always been done or taught a certain way does not mean that it always has to be done that way. I found that as the semester went on, I became more comfortable with making creative journals, and when Hammond said in his article, research has shown us that drawing and writing about something that we have just experienced fixes that experience in long-term memory and stimulates rational thought. I agreed with him because I have found that what I have creatively journaled about has stuck with me more than just writing a journal. I also found that the pictures that I drew helped me to remember what I had been learning that week. I even had a creative journal that I placed above my sink to help me to remember my action learning project, an ecological issue to conserve water. This journal served as a constant reminder to conserve my water and save the energy that it took for the water to get to my sink. Next, I want to talk to you about how I think my eco-literacy and eco-identity are closely related. As a child growing up on a farm, my parents always taught me to appreciate the environment, and they have always encouraged me to go outside to explore. They never made me feel like I had ecophobia because they encouraged me to practice free loot sleeve almost every day. I feel very blessed to have grown up on a farm because I believe that is where my eco-identity started. I always knew that I had a connection to nature and the environment, but now I have grown to understand myself as a part of the environment and nature because I have always been taught to be fond of and value the outdoors, and now I understand this as a feeling of ecophilia. Therefore, through this class, I have learned that my eco-identity and eco-literacy have always been forming, but have been heavily influenced by my family farm, family camp called Kineseo, and school that I attended after graduation called CLBI. All three of these places have helped develop my eco-identity and ecological literacy over time. Capra's reading, my classmates, and working on my eco-literacy braid has really helped me to understand that eco-literacy is more than just being knowledgeable about and appreciating the environment, but that it is also sustaining it and not taking it for granted. This leads into creating my meta-reflection. I look back on this and see that reflecting on the course has helped me to make connections between the readings, see what recurring themes or values have appeared in my writing, and what was also left out or never questioned. As I look past my meta-reflection, I can see that I had little knowledge or awareness of my Eurocentric worldview. I have realized now that my Eurocentric opinions have come through in my creative journals, and it might even show up later in my future teaching, and I won't even realize it. I have realized that this topic makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, but I also realize that being comfortable leaves a great opportunity for me to learn a great deal about myself, my values, and the ways that I might teach in my classroom. I am realizing that this is an area that I will constantly need to challenge myself in and constantly revisit because I am still not fully aware of what messages or discourses I will be sending out to my students when I teach. I know that I am always going to have a Eurocentric opinion, but I want to make sure that I become more aware of it so that I can challenge myself to teach more on other worldviews like the Indigenous worldview. Throughout this course, I have found that it is important to incorporate different subjects into one lesson so that it becomes an interdisciplinary lesson. I found it extremely beneficial to work in groups to create an interdisciplinary unit plan because this helped me to practice planning and create a unit plan that has more than one subject in it and environmental and treaty education. I can relate interdisciplinary teaching to David Orr's reading because I now understand that all education is environmental education, and I hope to use the skills that I have learned in this course in my final years at the U of R and future career as a teacher. In closing, I would like to say that Newberry has taught me that I must create and take any opportunity that I can to teach about the Aboriginal culture so that I can combat the traditional Eurocentric ways of teaching about Canada's history and help my students to see that we are all treaty people. After taking this course, I feel more confident in incorporating treaty education into my lessons, and I thank Joseph Natauhau for helping me practice some traditions in the Indigenous culture. I also want to thank Audrey for helping me along in my eco-literacy journey and this wonderful opportunity to grow as a future environmental educator.